Okay, so meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. Spoiler alert, it was. First good sign, before I left for the Capitol, I had my staff collect and print out this list of almost 60 different insulting epithets that the president has said about me. Things like stupid, dummy, lowlife dummy, sleazebag, sick, sad, stone cold crazy. Really a dumb guy, fired like a dog, his show is dead. There's 60. I brought this to the White House because I wanted him to sign it, which he did. Which he did with good humor. And I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? What I'm going to do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a fuck. At one point, we were walking through his amazing, it is an amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad. He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy. Bob, Kid Rock, told me the night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected, people who don't look you in the eye, people who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing, people whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what? None of that with him. And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this? I know, your mind is blown, so's mine.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Oh boy, the internet is breaking right now. And a lot of y'all are probably going to love why the internet's breaking. You probably have already seen what's trending right now. Bill Maher revealing everything that happened and even normalizing and loving President Trump for who he is. And as you can see what these liberals and Trump derangement syndrome people are posting, they hate that. And they're even like right now, as you scroll, people are calling Bill Maher like right now trending with liberals is Bill Maher is a sellout. Sellout. That's all you see everybody tweeting right now, because they don't want to hear this man be normalized and that he's actually a good person. They don't want to hear it. Again, but we have where you have the fake news, the fear mongering, the propaganda, the lies, the misinformation, you know, the hatred, the bias, and that's all you hear on these on most of the mainstream media, legacy media, the fake news. You know, they don't want to hear this man be normalized. And Bill Maher just broke the internet, y'all. This actually gave me chills. I know this isn't surprising from a lot of people, because especially MAGA and conservatives, because we're against the fake news and we understand who Trump really is, and not the picture that they paint him out to be and how they've assassinated his character. That's all we've gotten. They've assassinated this man's character, man. And they almost unalived him. We were this close. Man. But God had other plans, man. And we send our prayers to Trump and this administration, and we are rooting for America. But right now, Bill Maher has broke the internet. Look what people are posting. Listen to Bill Maher completely normalize the president. It makes me feel like I've entered upside down town. What the? And this is what people are actually posting. People are actually posted in this, man. Bill Maher is a sellout. I mean, it's people don't want to hear it. People saying, I don't want to hear this. He is still pure evil. Bill Maher is a complete sellout tonight. Look, this is what people are posting. I love it, man. I love it, you know. And I know how a lot of you feel about Bill Maher. We know how he is. Again, but this is what we need, man, around these times. And we are, a lot of us are, and even me, my video that I did on this, when it actually took place and happened, it went viral. Y'all know the viral video I did last week on Bill Maher going to meet President Trump. It was amazing, man. You know, and Kid Rock had already revealed what Bill Maher was going to say in this 12-minute video. We have a 12-minute video of him breaking down the full thing of what happened of him meeting President Trump. And we're going to play that in just a second. But, you know, we had already knew this was going to happen, man. You know, and I'm glad that it did take place because we are so divided. There's so much hatred, man. And I love that Bill Maher said, you know, this is what we have in this country. But the fact that we can come together, you know, that was so powerful, man. You know, but we have Trump derangement syndrome at stages we've never seen before. We have mental illnesses, man. It's really out here. Musk derangement syndrome. They have Tesla derangement syndrome, man. You know, it is bad. People are keying cars, setting dealerships on fire, wiping their hand in their butt, wiping it on the cars. I mean, it just, people have lost their minds, man. And now you see mug shots everywhere, people getting arrested. And I'm actually happy to see all that. I really am. And people need to be made an example, held accountable. You know, held accountable. Accountability. But we're going to play this 12-minute video of him talking about meeting President Trump at the White House. And said they had a really good time. And he actually liked him. He actually liked President Trump. After everything we've heard Bill Maher say about President Trump. And I mean, it's been some crazy, nasty things. Even talking about this assassination. I mean, but to hear this come out of his mouth, man, to actually, this is, I'm telling you, this is what we needed, man. You know? And I'm glad that this is happening in Trump's second term. That we have leftist Trump derangement syndrome people coming to the White House, you know, that we're getting along with, you know, like people say, sometimes you got the best way to play the game is be friends with the enemy. And you, and for so long, they won't be your enemy anymore. That's what they say. I might have said that wrong. Rick, you off that moonshine tonight, Rick? You better not be off that shine. Rick, you better not be off that Hennessy tonight. You off that Hennessy? Rick, I thought you don't drink. I don't drink, y'all, dude. I don't drink. You off that lettuce? You off that good strand? Nah, Rick don't smoke, man. Rick is pure. Rick is pure.
As you know, 12 days ago, I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute.
Right there, man. That is so powerful, man. I'm gonna let it play out. This is gonna be probably my only interruption, but that's so powerful, man. We hate each other so much. We're so divided. It's, you know, it's sad that where we are at in this country. And this is why I always spread love and I always tell you guys one love, man. You know, with these Democrats, it's about feelings, it's about the race card, it's about skin color, you know. Same with all these fake scam movements, communities. I mean, disgrace. Black Lives Matter, all this crap, man. You know, it's a disgrace. It's really sad what we have, especially in this country, man. But I love that Bill Maher said that, man. And I'm going to say it again. One love to the human race, man. I don't care who you are. I don't care what side you stand on. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you got a limp in that leg, if you got a lazy eye, if you got no teeth, if you got a bald head, if you got tattoos. I don't care. I got love for you. And I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life. In this fast time travel that we live in. People don't understand. We live in a fast time travel, man. And we really don't have no time to be hating, man, and being negative. You know, we got to figure this thing out, work smarter, and spread love and achieve our goals, man. Saying, figure this bad boy out. We don't got no time to be hating one another. You know, I get it. Some people, Rick, you got to, you know, some people you just can't get along with. Some people are just, you know, I understand that, man. I understand somebody at the job is going to piss you off. I understand that somebody, your boss is going to make you mad. Your manager is going to make you mad. Or you might be somebody that just doesn't like you. I understand. I get it. But my overall point is, man, is that we need to look out for one another, care for one another, love one another, and spread the love around, man. God is love, man. You know, you might have a different side of politics. I might have this side of politics, but I still want to tell you, I wish the best for you. You know, simple as that. If you hate Trump, you hate Trump. That's cool. But I'm still wishing the best for you and your family as we go through these next 4 years. Whether if you love or hate the man. Simple. I'm not going to key your car. I'm not going to, you know, none of that crap. No matter how much I disagree with you on your politics. I'm not going to key your car. I'm not going to set your car on fire. I'm not going to put a Nazi symbol on it. None of that, man. All right, but enough of me talking. I know I could talk up a storm. They say, Rick, sir, please stop talking. Right.
So, thank you. Okay, so meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. Spoiler alert, it was. First good sign, before I left for the Capitol, I had my staff collect and print out
This is amazing.
this list of almost 60 different insulting epithets that the president has said about me. Things like stupid, dummy, lowlife dummy, sleazebag, sick, sad, stone cold crazy. Really a dumb guy, fired like a dog, his show is dead. There's 60. I brought this to the White House because I wanted him to sign it, which he did. Which he did with good humor. And I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? What I'm going to do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a fuck. So no, I didn't go MAGA. And to the president's credit, there was no pressure to. After we left the Oval Office, he showed me the little room off the office, you know, the one where Clinton used to. Okay. The blowjob room. Okay. Well, not anymore. That's where they keep the merch now. It is. And he gave me a bunch of hats, but he didn't ask me to take a picture in one, which I appreciated. The guy I met is not the person who the night before the dinner shit-tweeted a bunch of nasty crap about how he thought this dinner was a bad idea and what a deranged asshole I was. I read it and thought, oh, what a lovely way to welcome someone to your house. But when I got there, that guy wasn't living there. Now, does Trump want respect? Of course. Who doesn't? My friend said to me, what are you going to wear to the White House? I said, I don't know, but I'm not going to dress like Zelensky, I'll tell you that. But, okay. Just for starters, he laughs. I'd never seen him laugh in public, but he does, including at himself. And it's not fake. Believe me, as a comedian of 40 years, I know a fake laugh when I hear it. And I thank you for them. No.
One more interruption, man. One more. People, it's, you know, the way they've painted this man not to be, I told y'all, man, with the fake news, you know, the CNNs and how everybody talks about the man and, you know, and how we're already painted as Nazi, Hitler, dictator, threat to democracy. You know, people forget to understand that the man is a human. He's just like us, man. We're human beings, man. You know, he's a human being. And we've allowed the media, fake news, we've allowed people to assassinate his character. So I'm really glad that this is breaking the internet, that this came out. And I wouldn't expect it to come out, but like this. But I'm glad it came out like this, you know, and it's a full down segment, you know. But let's continue.
Okay, example. In the Oval Office, he was showing me the portraits of presidents, and he pointed to Reagan and said, in all seriousness, you know the best thing about him? His hair. I said, well, there was also that whole bringing down communism thing, waiting for the button next to the Diet Coke button to get pushed and I go through the trap door. But no, he laughed, he got it. I said to him at one point, Mr. President, you know the dog, that's unusual in the White House. He said, well, a lot of the presidents, they had a dog for political reasons. I said, no, people love dogs, that's what that is. Oh yeah, okay, that's true. I'm telling you what happened. At one point, we were walking through his amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that.
He actually admitted he lost. Mad? Wow.
He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy. Bob, Kid Rock, told me the night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected, people who don't look you in the eye, people who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing, people whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what? None of that with him. And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this? I know, your mind is blown, so's mine. There were so many moments when I hit him with a joke or contradicted something, and no problem. At dinner, he was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran in a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy, I want your opinion sort of way. And I said, well, obviously you're privy to things about it I'm not, but for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium, and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him, but we got rid of that. You got rid of that. He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky, but that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell. I told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes. Moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. The border did need to be controlled. I'm glad the cops are getting their morale back. DEI had gone too far. Biological men shouldn't be playing women's sports.
Common sense.
Europe should pay for their defense.
Common sense.
And of course, it makes sense that Arab countries should take in Arab refugees, like the million Syrians who wound up in Germany when Saudi Arabia took none. He said to me, you're right, they took none. I said, Well, you should remind your boyfriend in Saudi Arabia that the next time you see him. He laughed. I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days. He was even okay when I checked him on the orangutan lawsuit. He was. I know. He said to Dana White, you know, Bill said my father was an orangutan, and I really love my father. And I said, well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low. Again, no anger, just a little smile, as if to say, yeah, I get it. The most surreal part of the whole night was when I got home. I flew back right after the dinner, and I'm in bed watching 60 Minutes from the night before. And there's Trump in one of their stories, standing at a podium in a room that looked to me like one of the rooms and places we'd just been in. And he's ranting, disgusting, you're a terrible person. And I'm like, who's that guy? What happened to Glinda the Good Witch? And why can't we get the guy I met to be the public guy? And I'm not saying it's our responsibility to do that. It's not. I'm just reporting exactly what I saw over 2.5 hours. I went into the mine, and that's what's down there. A crazy person doesn't live in the White House. A person who plays a crazy person on TV a lot lives there, which I know is fucked up. It's just not as fucked up as I thought it was. And I have no illusions now that I'm back to work at my job that he might start a new list.
He signed that bad boy. We'll do it, DJT. We'll sign another one.
Because I don't have a good feeling and will be critical about a lot of what he's doing. The trade war and disappearing people, ruling by decree, threatening judges, gutting the government with glee. But I also think he now understands I have a job to do, or at least he did on this night, because he said to me early on that he'd seen our last episode, which was the Friday before this dinner. And he said, I thought maybe you'd be nice, but you hit me really hard. I did, because I'm not going to pull my punches that presidents get to propose a third term for themselves. He understood that, and without animus. That doesn't mean he's not going to try to do it. At one point, I said to him, you're scaring people. Do you really want to be scaring your own citizens so much? And I know now you're all saying, and what did he say to that? Honestly, I don't remember. But it wasn't, okay, I'll stop. So MAGA fans, don't worry. Your boy gave me nothing. Just hats. Hats and a very generous amount of time and a willingness to listen and accept me as a possible friend, even though I'm not MAGA, which was the point of the dinner. My favorite part of the whole night was we were standing in the blowjob room. We were. And he said, you know, I've heard from a lot of people who really like that we're having this dinner. Not all, but a lot. And I said, same. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed. The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk, as opposed to what? Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind? Really, that's what liberals have? He takes the piss out of everybody else and we can hold ours? Okay, that's my report. You can hate me for it, but I'm not a liar. Trump was gracious and measured, and why he isn't that in other settings, I don't know, and I can't answer, and it's not my place to answer. Wow. I'm just telling you what I saw, and I wasn't high. Damn, missed opportunity. All right, we got a great show. Piers Morgan and Josh.
Wow, man. That was amazing. That was, man. Another win, and we just keep winning, man. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. Please, I can't wait to read the comment section. I know our last video went viral. It blew up, you know, when we reported on this. And we really thought this was actually an amazing thing to happen. To invite somebody with, you know, to come together with people that have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, leftists, you know, liberals. Let's talk it out. Let's, you know, let bygones be bygones, man. This can't be that bad after all. And like we said, we think he's gonna hit it off with them, that they're gonna like each other. And just as we predicted, it came to pass. You know. But this is what we need, man. And I'm glad that this took place in this Trump term, man. You know. Because there's been just nothing but negative and hate and hatred and bias and fear mongering and just, you know, every day it's just the worst. Nazi, dictator, threat, democracy. He's a threat. He's a dictator. You know, that people are tired of hearing that, man. You know, and I think that's one reason why y'all have created more Trump supporters than there is now. You know, people have had enough of this, man. But that was great from Bill Maher, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. I love y'all. God bless you all and your families. And again, we are rooting for America. We are rooting for this administration. We send our prayers to President Trump and the Trump administration. They are against a great evil, man. You know. I love y'all. I'll catch y'all in the next one.